Not only can one look at grass as food, in savanna ecosystems, grass is also fuel. Savanna ecosystems have some sort of a codependency with fire, and all we're looking at here is the amount of fuel. And when it comes to fuel, a lot of things are important. It is the fuel continuation, which essentially is very, very high in this particular example here, because there is essentially an uninterrupted, almost uninterrupted carpet of combustible material. So, but also fuel structure plays an important role because it determines the flame height and what a particular flame can reach. So let's just take this as an example here. So we are seeing in this particular shrub that my main fuel, my grass, is actually growing into the tree canopy or into the shrub canopy, and which in the case of a fire will most likely have devastating effects on this particular shrub and take the majority of the shrub out. So versus let's find another good example over here. Let's go to this lovely acacia tree. So here we are seeing that our grass is essentially not tall enough to cause any damage to this particular tree. So these grasses, they burn excessively fast. So that fire will essentially just whip through here, take out the grass, and that might not be enough time to essentially light up these twigs, even given they are pretty dry. So, but most likely it will have zero effects on this particular shrub. However, depending on the height of my grasses in the front here, the flame will probably come up to about knee height. That creates heat, and this heat will then have an impact on the leaves in the tree. So these leaves are essentially dying off at about 60 degrees Celsius, which will definitely be reached in this particular example. So that's just another example how productivity essentially, or how water affects productivity. And this productivity does not only support herbivorous species, it also determines the effects of fire. Here is another good example, a last one. My fuel continuation here is lower than what we have previously seen in this short clip. We also see here that some of these grass species are essentially heavily browsed on. So grazers also have a strong influence, or the amount of grazers found in an area to have a strong influence on fire behavior, fire occurrence, and the actual physics of the fire, and therefore the destructive power of a fire. And while we're talking about fire, there it is. That's not a good thing we would like to see. So we're seeing it there on the right, and it burns all the way to the left. That's probably a fire front line of about 500 meters. So I believe it's time to get out of here.